Over the thousands of years, humanity has developed into the world-sprawling civilization it is today. Stories of fantastic and mythological creatures abound. Every civilization has its own version of everything from the boogeyman to dragons, and we still enjoy these mythological creatures in movies and games like Dungeons and Dragons. Welcome to Top 5 Mythical Creatures that actually existed. On the 5th place, we have Direwolves. In games like Dungeons and Dragons or television series such as A Game of Thrones, direwolves have been presented as gigantic wolves capable of easily taking down a large man. They are often described as vicious, hard to train, and efficient killers. But the myth of the direwolf doesn't exactly line up with the reality. Direwolves were real animals, which went extinct when the last major ice age came to an end. Direwolves weren't gigantic monsters, but they were big animals. Most specimens that have been studied show that the direwolf is the same size as modern grey wolf. They weighed around 60 kilos and were capable predators. Their teeth were larger and had a better shearing ability than their modern cousins. They had the strongest bite force at that point of the time. This made it possible for them to prey on horses, camels, bisons, and human beings who lived during the Ice Age. On the 4th place we have Imugi dragons. Imugi are Korean dragons, which resemble all forms of Chinese dragons. Unlike European dragons, Imugi do not have wings and are considered benevolent creatures related to water and agriculture. But in reality, there is no such creature in the fossil record. There is something similar called the Titan boa. Titan boa was the largest snake that lived on the ground. They died out around 58 million years ago. So the comparison between the myths and the reality is entirely coincidental. Like the most dragon myths, the Imugi likely arose from ancient people who found bones belonging to extinct species. Korean finding that gave rise to the myth of dragons likely came from marine reptiles or dragon fossils. Additionally, tall tales spread about creatures like Imugi until they explode into mythological beasts. On the 3rd place we have dragons. In nearly every depiction, a dragon is a large serpentine creature with 4 legs and 2 wings. Almost all dragons can fly, and many breathe fire. Over the centuries, dragons created for fiction have included variations on color and ability, including the ability to breathe frost, survive in lava, and just about anything else people could imagine. But in the reality, there isn't scholarly consensus regarding how cultures all over the world came up with the dragons. But there are theories suggesting ancient people found dinosaur fossils, and they were the inspiration for these gigantic beasts. On the 2nd place we have unicorns. Unicorns are white horses with a large spiraled horn sticking out from their forehead. They are often associated with magic and have been described for most of history through many world cultures. They were described in ancient Greece by Pliny the Younger and others, and the Reim, as it is described in Christian Bible, resembles the unicorn. But in the reality, the unicorn has evolved over the time from various descriptions of real animals, and the most likely source in European history stems from Pliny the Elder's description of rhinoceros. He wrote in the 1st century CE that it has the head of a stag, the feet of an elephant, and the tail of a boar. It has a single black horn which projects from the middle of its forehead. On the first place we have a kraken. The kraken is a massive and mighty creature from the deep beneath the sea that pulls ships down to the depths with its mighty tentacles. Tales of the kraken can be found through European literature, and it is often described as a massive creature that resembled a floating island or was so large its tentacles could pull entire vessels under the sea. But in the reality, sailors have been describing strange creatures for millennia, and while the most beasts described by them over the years proved to be wildly inaccurate, not everything was. The kraken may have been described as a violent creature that sank ships, but in reality it was a colossal squid.